The final topic for practice set 1 will be factors and multiples. I'll put those together. We'll start with factors. So I'm going to set it up like a chart. Some people call it a T-chart if you're searching for this on the web. I'm always going to start by dividing the top number by everything I can divide it by and listing my factors out down here. Let's see how this works. So I start by dividing 36 by 1, and the result is 36. 36 can be divided by 2, and the result is 18. 36 divided by 3, yeah, that works too. 3 12s make 36. Okay, 36 can also be divided by 4. 4 times 9 makes 36. And we keep going to see if there's anything else we can divide it by. All right, so we're up to 4. So next we try 36 divided by 5, but that doesn't go in evenly. So 5 is not a factor of 36. So instead we keep going up and we try 36 divided by 6. Yeah, 6 times 6 makes 36. Once we've run out of numbers to check for new factors, we are finished. And these here are all the factors of the number 36. We're now going to try and list the prime factors for a number. Now, to be able to do this, we have to understand what a prime number is. So if we try to break down 7 into a list of all its factors, I can divide any number by 1, and the result here, 7 divided by 1 is 7. What you'll notice is there's no other number I can divide 7 by and get a whole number back. So this is an example of a prime number, because a prime number is any number that has exactly and only 2 factors. Another way to say this is that prime numbers can only be divided by themselves and 1. So this is a slightly different method than finding all factors. Here we're looking for the prime factors only. All right, and what I suggest you do is just start by trying to divide the number 24 by a prime number. What I can see is that 24 is an even number, so it makes sense to me that I would divide it by 2. Well, let's do that in a different color. I'll divide it by 2 because 2 is a prime number, and that's going to get me moving along. So 24 divided by 2, the result goes down here, it's 12. 12 is another even number, so a prime number I could divide it by is 2. 12 by 2 makes 6. The result goes over there on the left. And we continue. 6 is even again. Divide it by 2. 6 divided by 2, the result is 3. And the last bit here, well, 3, the only thing I can divide it by other than 1 is itself, 3. And the result, so 3 divided by 3 equals 1. And when you get to 1, you are finished. This will work for all numbers. Okay, and what we are left with is a list of prime numbers. And if we go through and check what we have, we want to make sure that it does, in fact, multiply to be 24. So the prime factors of 24, okay, are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, well, 2 times 2 makes 4, right? 4 times 2 makes 8, and 8 times 3 makes 24. Okay, so when you multiply them all out, you should get the number you started with. That's how you do prime factors for a number, also called prime factorization. So we're going to use our factoring skills, these T-charts that we learned before, and we can use those to find the greatest or biggest common factor. So we're going to make a list of all factors and just point out which is the largest one that exists in both lists. So breaking down 12. 12 divided by 1 is not 2, it's 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and I've run out of numbers to try. Okay, 16 by 1 is 16. 16 by 2 is 8. 16 by 3 doesn't go. 16 by 4 does, and the result is 4. So So what we're looking at is all factors of 12 and 16. So we pick the largest one. And I look on my list, 2 exists on both lists. Is there something bigger? Oh yeah, what do you know? 4 is there. 4 is the GCF, the greatest common factor between the numbers 12 and 16. We now look at multiples. In fact, we're looking at the lowest common multiple. You'll sometimes see it called the least common multiple. Either is fine. When I have the number 6 and the number 8, I might want to find out the lowest place where those would meet if we were to multiply up by their numbers. Let me show you what that means. It's harder to say than it is to do. So 6 times 1 makes 6. 6 times 2 makes 12, right? 18, 24, 30, 36, and so on. The multiples go up infinitely. I now take a look at 8 and multiples of 8, starting at 8 times 1 are 8, 8 times 2, 16, 24, 32, 40, and those keep going on up forever as well. Our job now is pretty simple. We just have to find the lowest common multiple. So the number in the 2 list, which is the lowest and exists in both. So we look here, what am I seeing? I am seeing 24, and that should be my lowest or least common multiple.